was ensuring adequate availability of technology or digital connectivity, improve skilling universities, we can improve infrastructure to try and strengthen the economy. But end of the day, all of this is as good as the use that we make of this enabling infrastructure, enabling environment. And I would urge all of you, please embrace the future with confidence. Embrace change as it is emerging. Let's relearn. And we are actually students all our life. We are learning new things every single step of the way. We are seeing how we can become more relevant. We are looking at emerging technologies impacting whatever we have studied. And to become a leader, I think we'll have to be on a continuous journey of learning. I'm sure Christ University helps ignite that torch, that passion, helps create leaders of tomorrow. And each one of you there is going to be a leader of innovation tomorrow, a leader of industry tomorrow, a person who will make the Indian flag proud, who will go across the world, who will work in India, and in whatever work you may choose to do, set very high targets, very high goals, look at literally a global presence of India in the years to come and impact the lives of the common man in India. Friends, before I conclude, just a couple of thoughts that I want to share with you. I would urge each one of us to adopt life, that's lifestyle for environment, so that in our day-to-day lives, we start focusing on the circular economy. We start looking at more sustainable lifestyles. We start eliminating wastage. We start recycling and reuse. Make that an important element of our life, because sustainability is going to determine the future of the planet and therefore your and our future. Also, country over the years has not adopted quality with the same enthusiasm that we should have. And the mindset of the nation has somehow not become quality conscious. I would urge each one of you to become brand ambassadors of quality and spread the message of quality and the importance of quality, so that as a nation, we can all start literally in every sphere of our life insisting on quality as consumers and offering quality of goods and services as stakeholders of the economy. Friends, our future is intertwined with each other. Together, we can move mountains. Together, this nation will transform into the world's most powerful nation. Let's work together with a sense of purpose, united in our commitment to make India a superpower once again. Let's focus our actions around people, progress, and the planet. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Sir, would you like to address a few questions?
Sure.
The floor is now open to questions.
Chair. A very good afternoon, sir. May I say this is indeed a privilege to get to talk to you. So my question is, despite the implementation of the new education policy, there hasn't been much change in the educational system of India. There has no measures being taken to bridge the gap between academia and industry. don't you think this is due to the lack of collaboration between the Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Commerce and Industry? Thank you, sir.
I think that's a very fair point. We had the national education policy come out in 2020, but unfortunately, because of COVID, we were not able to have an outreach with many universities as yet to get them attracted to India. I'm happy to share with you that my colleague, Mr. Dharmendra Pradhan, and I are in touch now on talking to universities across the world. I myself had a very good engagement with Stanford University during my last visit to the United States, where they have expressed their interest in wanting to come and look at India and see how we can look at expanding collaboration between India and the US. Similarly, with countries in the Gulf, we are in dialogue to see how our IITs, our IIMs can start having offshore campuses in the Middle Eastern countries. Australia and India are already having a dialogue to have joint degrees, dual degrees being offered, which will bring down the cost of education for children wanting to take degrees from Australian universities, and it will help Australian children also get an international flavor in their education when they come down for the India leg of the dual degree. So with the UK, we are also having a dialogue on mutual recognition of degrees and supporting each other with offshore campuses, both for Indian colleges in their country and vice versa. So I think it is something that's happening, but madam, government will only act as an enabler. End of the day, it will be the universities which will have to engage with each other, tie up and expand their operations together. We've had some model guidelines which have been put out in public domain a few weeks ago. We are looking for comments on those guidelines, both from Indian universities and foreign universities, so that we can freeze them. The guidelines have allowed a lot of flexibility, and I do hope that in the months to come, we'll start seeing some action. But as you will appreciate, these are normally long drawn discussions, negotiations, and actions, and may not happen very much overnight. But I do believe it's a journey which has begun.
Thank you, sir. Can we have the next question, please?
Good afternoon, sir. So before I ask my question, it's a great pleasure and an honor to be interacting with you. So thank you so much for giving us this opportunity. Moving on my question. So we all know that you work on the principle of quick decision making, which leads to good governance. And that has been seen in the fastest signing of the free trade agreement. What are some other factors that are in your mind and that you consider before making your decision?
I believe very strongly that we must have more and more stakeholder engagement. For example, just before I came into this VC, I was engaged in a conversation with 50 of the top importers who are importing goods into the country. Tomorrow, I have a similar interaction with 50 of the top exporters who export goods from India. Similarly, we are in regular dialogue with Indian industry of different streams, the steel industry sometimes, the infrastructure creators, the cement industry, different minerals, the aviation industry. The idea behind all of these interactions is that they are the stakeholders on the ground who can really give us feedback, what we need to do as policy, and help them improve their business, help them add to economic activity, and ultimately serve the consumers of India. So I think that's been one very important element of our work. That's the dialogue and continuous engagement with different stakeholders, including, I would say, my engagement with all of you today is a part of that journey. Every one of your questions is food for thought for me. Every idea that you will give me today will help me in my work going forward. So I do believe that That is one important criteria. Another thing is, as we come to know of any issue, any problem that's being faced by any industry, we try to act on that quickly, work through the wires, whether it's with state governments, local bodies, interministerial, or sometimes within your own ministry, so that there's faster resolution and we can solve the problems of industry, help them expand their operations. We've been successfully doing that with the service industry. We've been successfully doing that with the startup ecosystem. And I do believe that the mood that I'm sensing today in the country, the mood that I sense in youngsters. Today I was at a school for about 3 hours in the morning. It's a very simple, ordinary, middle class young boys and girls were there at Navodaya Navyuk school in New Delhi. And it was really a pleasure to see the enthusiasm in those class 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 kids. They really were supercharged, turbocharged about their future. And every time I act with youngsters like you, I get also supercharged and wanting to do much more. So believe me, it's a pleasure. And I would urge all of you. For example, I would urge the management of Christ University. Maybe you can have a competition of suggestions from your students of what each one of them feels we need to do as a nation. Government needs to do some things, colleges and universities need to do something, business and industry needs to do something, any part of the country. Give us your suggestions and maybe we can award the best 50 suggestions or best 30 suggestions. I'll be happy to invite the best of those who give us good suggestions to come and meet me, whether when I'm in Bangalore or in Delhi, so that we can have a free and frank discussion in person. And maybe out of that will emerge some of the leaders of foreign trade tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Can we have the next question, please?
Yeah. Will you go ahead?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir. First of all, thank you for giving this opportunity, sir. So, first of all, before asking the question, what is your take on the GST collection, sir? Like, there is an increase in the GST collection, right? So, is it because of the increase in production and distribution, or is it because of the inflation, sir?
Well, there could have been a small element of inflation also on that. But largely, I can tell you the overall economic activity in the country is increasing despite global problems and recessionary conditions. So, for example, the import figure is going up. On one hand, it's a matter of concern that imports are going up. But on the other hand, I also see in that signs that economic activity in India is picking up. And this increased demand will encourage new investment, will encourage businessmen to looking at this demand to invest in capital assets and factories, industry to meet this demand and therefore create new jobs for our young boys and girls. So increased GST and such a consistent increase in GST in a way is a good sign. Bear in mind, the inflation has largely been in energy products. India has been able to retain and maintain other products largely at reasonable levels. There was a short spike for a few months in commodity prices, but other than that, India's inflation is still amongst the more controlled and more calibrated when compared to the rest of the world, particularly the developed countries and the emerging economies. So I would think that large part of this GST increase is attributed to increased economic activity, maybe a small portion also to inflation. Thank you.
So we are ready from the management side to collaborate with you for the competition. So will you be willing to collaborate with us for the competition?
Absolutely. I'll depute one of my officers who will coordinate with Christ University. And I was told there are 2,000 students in this room. I hope I will get at least 2,000 entries. And if a team of professors could be, or teachers could take this up upon themselves to sift through the entries and shortlist them, then I could have one or two of my officers engage with you. And hopefully we'll get a good set of young boys and girls with whom I can interact either when I'm in Bangalore, if you prefer that, but I'm happy to invite you to Delhi also. I'll leave that to your college to decide. And if you do come to Delhi, you will be my guests. So we'll take you around Delhi, we'll show you Kartavya Path, where you saw yesterday's scintillating Republic Day parade, which focused on our Nari Shakti, our woman power, and which had all indigenous defense equipment on display in a big way. Something which will make all of you proud. So I'll welcome you in Delhi, or if you want, I'll come to Bangalore, as you wish.
Thank you so much, sir. We would be honored to collaborate with you for this competition. Thank you so much, sir. We would like to thank the Honorable Shri Piyush Goyal and his entire team for spending his time with us and facilitating the session for us. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, and God bless all of you with lots and lots of success. Good luck.
Good moments cease, but the energy is transfused to the people around. I extend my hearty thanks to our esteemed keynote speaker, Honorable Minister Shri Piyush Goyal, for taking his time out to add value to this valuable venture, DAKSH 2023. We extend our gratitude to Father Dr. Abraham VM, the Vice Chancellor of Christ Seemed to Be University, Dr. Anil Joseph Pinto, the Registrar, Dr. Johnny Joseph, the Controller of Examination and the Director of the Student Council, for his unparalleled guidance and support. I would also like to thank our council coordinators, HODs, deans, directors, program coordinators, academic coordinators, and professors for their consistent support in helping us prepare for this magnificent event. Special thanks to Rajan sir and team for ensuring a seamless flow of events through their experienced support in terms of audio arrangement. We also send our immense love and gratitude to the block in charge and support staff for their unceasing support in helping us with the detailed plans for the event. Finally, thank you all for being a lovely audience. At DAKSH, there is something to be found for everyone. We hope this experience will enlighten your educational endeavors, help you to find your niche, and take a step forward in this best direction. This is Megan Rodriguez, your MC, signing off.